All right, let's just jump right in. We're going to tackle one of the biggest, most frustrating problems on the internet today. How do we keep kids safe without forcing all of us to basically hand over our digital lives?
And this is it, right? The choice we're constantly forced to make. You want to use a service? Cool. Just hand over your data. You want to keep your privacy? Well, sorry, you can't come in. It feels like a lose-lose situation. But what if it doesn't have to be a choice at all?
So, before we get to the solution, we really have to get our heads around the problem. And it's a big one. The internet is in the middle of what you could call an age gate crisis. There's this massive global push for age verification, and honestly, it's kind of breaking everything.
And this slide just nails the core conflict. On one hand, you've got governments all over the world, the UK, France, a bunch of US states, and they're all saying we need to protect minors, which, absolutely. But on the other hand, you've got us, the actual users, who are just so tired of handing over our most sensitive information, knowing it's probably going to get leaked in the next big data breach. And that's exactly why the current methods are such a disaster. I mean, we've all been there, right? Being told to upload a picture of your passport or driver's license just to get on a social media site. It's not just annoying, it creates these huge centralized honeypots of our data that hackers just can't resist. The whole system is just fundamentally insecure. Okay, so that's the mess we're in. But what's the way out? Well, the solution comes from a totally new way of thinking about the internet's next evolution, something called Web4. And it's all built around this idea of a digital passport. So you might have heard a lot about Web3, which was often, very focused on finance and crypto. Web4 is a bit different. It's about bringing the internet back to what makes it awesome, community. The big idea here is something called social networks as a service, SNAAS for short, which basically lets anyone spin up their own decentralized social network where they make the rules and they control the data. And the key to this whole new internet is a thing called UIID. Now get this, it stands for Universal Interplanetary Identity. Yeah, I know, super ambitious name. But for now, you can just think of it as your one and only digital passport for this entire new ecosystem. All right, so a digital passport sounds pretty cool. But the number one question is always, how does it actually work? Like, how does it keep my stuff private while also taking the boxes for those government age checks? Let's get into the magic behind it. The whole system is built on this really simple but totally game-changing idea. You should be able to prove something is true about yourself, like that you're over 18, without ever having to show the actual data, like your birth date or your home address. And this is possible because of some seriously cool cryptography called a zero-knowledge proof, or ZKP. So instead of sending a copy of your ID to some random website's database, the UIID protocol just sends a simple, cryptographically secure yes. That's it. The website learns nothing else about you except for the one single thing it needs to know. Are you old enough? Yes or no? And this is where it gets incredibly convenient. You go through the verification process one time, securely. And from that moment on, you can get into any platform in the Web4 world instantly and anonymously. Think about that. No more creating a million different accounts and passwords for every single site. It is literally a verify once, use everywhere system. This system also has a really clever way to fight the absolute flood of bots and AI deepfakes we're all dealing with. UIID uses the secure hardware that's already in your phone or computer to create what's called a hardware-signed truth. It's a way of proving you're a real human using a real device without ever needing to do a face scan or give up your biometric data. So, when you put all these pieces together, what you get is a system that isn't a compromise. It's actually a win for everyone involved, for the regulators, for the platforms, and most importantly, for you. Let's just break down who wins and why. For governments, they get the compliance they're looking for, but without having to build a giant surveillance machine. For the platform owners, they're suddenly free from the huge legal risk of holding all our sensitive data. And for us, we get simple, one-click, password-free access to our online world, all while our privacy stays completely locked down. But here's the really important thing to grasp. This isn't just about fixing the internet as it is today. This is a foundational technology that's being designed for what comes next. And yeah, the vision is massive. They even say multiplanetary. But let's bring it back to Earth for a second. The core principles are what really matter. Your identity should be decentralized, so no single company owns it. It should be cryptographic, so it's unbreakable. And it should be sovereign, which means you and only you are in control. And this quote, it just perfectly sums up the whole philosophy. Navigation of the change through community, powered by UIID. It's not about some big tech company forcing a solution on us. It's about giving communities the tools they need to build a safer, more private, and just better digital world together. Which brings us to this final, pretty mind-blowing question. If you have a single, secure digital passport that proves you're you, do you even need passwords anymore? A system like this could change everything, not just how we prove our age, but how we live our entire digital lives. Is this the end of the online password as we know it?